just gonna be look like a little bit of slow day. And the only really good earnings that we need to know today is Verizon. Even some of the other, there's a lot of other companies that came out with earnings. But the reason I'm looking at Verizon, they actually beat the numbers, both on the revenue and on the earnings side. So before we get to that, the reason I talked about that is because of we own Bell Canada and Thales, because that will have an effect on those stocks this morning, what direction they're going to go. So let's take a look at first. Let's go to our grandpa, which is ES Futures, which are trying to hit a new high. There's not a whole lot going on. The only news is these candles are pretty small. The last Friday's candle was pretty slow, and today's candle is going to be pretty slow because there's nothing really going on, something going on out there that's going to move the markets. Even though it keeps hitting the new highs, nothing's really out there really going to affect the market that much to the upside or the downside, unless Donald Trump out there says something, or if he fires Jerome Powell, which he's still trying to do, and we'll see what happens with him. But anyways, let's talk about ES. ES is going to be trading at the higher point. What I would do with right now, I'd still stay on with the risk on, but I would start taking some profits out of the stocks that have done well. I took half a profit out in Pepsi on Friday because you got to understand my position, because I bought a lot of Pepsi around the 130 range, and you guys all know that. And I sold it because I had too many shares. I took profit out of that, and still I got half a position in Pepsi. But again, the market, if it continues to the upside, it's going to keep pushing these stocks to the upside. Doesn't matter what you're looking at. The stocks, even the riskier stocks, as the market keeps hitting the new highs, it's also going to keep pushing those stocks to the upside as well. So just be careful at some point if the market ever decides to come down. I have no reason why this market should keep going up unless they're going to obviously cut interest rates in July. I don't see it happening in July. I see CPI number, they came up usually week, PPI numbers, and the retail numbers. All of the numbers really weren't one way or the other to have the interest rates cut or to interest rates to go up. So basically what I'm looking is a flat decision on next week. This is coming in, today's 21st already. I think the rate decision is next week, both for Bank of Canada and for the Fed. So it's really going to be a more of a next week is going to be really where the market is going to move. Even the market data this week, there isn't much coming out that is going to tell us if they're going to move the market or not. So there is ISM manufacturing data coming out, but again, the other 4 or 5 that we discussed that really affect the market are really the ones that really change the data. But other than that, nothing is happening here. Pretty flat. Let's see what market will be still on the risk on, so you can still buy stocks like day trade. We'll discuss them in a minute. What about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq, same thing, hitting new highs, sitting at 22,272. Again, let's see what happens. Pretty small candles happening on the Nasdaq as well. Still a risk on day. Stocks like Nvidia that are in the news this morning are still heading to the upside, because they're now saying, the H20 chips that they're selling to China there are not enough of them, and if they want to start up making the H20 chip again, it's gonna take a few days. So that's gonna, I don't know if you're gonna take that as a negative news for Nvidia, or if it's going to be the positive to news. We'll take a look at that in a minute, see what the stock is doing. Okay. So other than that, let's take a look at oil. Oil is going to the downside. Let's go to the hourly chart. Pretty flat on oil. Oil is, again, in my opinion, we're going to wait till the interest rates start dropping, and that's when this will rise to the upside. But till then, I think oil is kind of stuck in the middle, unless OPEC does cuts or increase in oil or something in Iran happens, that's the only reason oil will move. Right now, it's been basically flatlining. I mean, look at since like the June 24th. Here we are a month later. This is a whole month of oil being just basically flat, right? So what's going to happen with the oil? I think it's going to stay flat till we see ours. If the economy starts bumping to the upside, then we'll see the increase on oil. They're also trying to block a lot of oil coming out of the U.S. is trying not block. They're trying to deal with countries that are buying the Russian oil, like India and China. But again, they're not winning. China, U.S. To me, is it I am the only one that US doesn't have that much power as it used to? I think it's losing a lot of power with this free trade, these taxes and everything. So I don't know if it's going to have enough power in a couple of years. They might not maybe able to tell anybody what to do. Never, you know. So I think the U.S. is really weakening itself the way they're doing the trade deals with all these countries. Okay. So what about gold? Gold is a little bit up, $29 to the upside. Gold has also been kind of flatlining for last little while, but it is still bullish. See if you see this trend line here. If you got a break to the upside, I think gold really starts maybe making a move to the upside. Why is gold making a move to the upside? Well, remember, inflation was going up, right? Inflation numbers up and if you cut interest rates, and this will go up as well. So keep a close eye on this breakout to the upside. I am not a seller of gold. If you have gold, hang on to it. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to break this trend line to the downside. I think it's going to more like break this trend to the upside because gold. I talked about a little bit of gold yesterday. I think it's still going to be the ultimate currency in the future. Okay, gold is if the dollar goes away, all the currencies in the world go away. The gold will be the ultimate currency. Okay, gold will be continuing to the upside. Let's take a look at what the put call ratios did on Friday. So what direction the market is pretty steady. They are indicating the market is going to the upside because if you look at the SPY put call ratio, it's going towards the call side. Same thing on the triple Qs. It's also going towards the call side. It's actually sitting even lower, 1.03. And then you got the IWM, which is a little bit to the put side. But these two are the ones that are really pushing the market. So both of them are showing that market could be going to the upside. And what has Bitcoin done over the weekend? Basically, it's stuck around this range here. And it's also waiting to see what kind of interest rate cuts we're going to get. If we get cut rates on July there, this thing will fly to the upside. So more currency out there, more people to borrow. And it's holding pretty much steady there. And take a look at the 10-year. 10-year is coming down a little more. Donald Trump, again, I'm going to talk about it, $9.5 trillion debt due in August. By the end of August, they got to do something about it. These interest rates, he has to bring this to the downside. And if he doesn't, then they're going to pay a lot higher interest on their debt. And that's even going to, create higher. Remember Donald Trump, I don't know if anybody heard him talking about in the news. Maybe Besant has been telling him, they've basically been telling him, if they don't drive this interest rate down, they're going to be paying a lot more money on their debt. It's like if you could borrow money at 5%, or you could borrow money at 4%. 1% makes almost $500 billion of interest payments. Okay, 1%, over 1%. So what could they use for like $500 million for something else if they don't have to pay interest on that money? So that is a big thing, and that's why Donald Trump is trying to push this thing below 4%. If this thing goes higher, the U.S. will incur more and more debt. And the problem with that is there may not be takers out there. That's the biggest problem that U.S. is going to have now in the future is if nobody is willing to take their debt. If other countries like Japan is already saying they're trying to corner Japan into cutting interest rates, They cannot afford to cut interest rates right now. Their inflation is near zero. Okay, they cannot cut interest rates, and that's what the U.S. is trying to force them to cut interest rates, and it's not going to happen. The U.S. Japan is already looking elsewhere for debt and bond rates. I will talk about the bond rates more because that's what the next month trade is going to be. What direction is the U.S. bonds going to go? Where is the Japanese bonds going to go? And also the German bonds. These are the three leading bonds that are going to affect the money market supply. Okay, so we need to talk about bonds because it's very, very important. A lot of people don't understand bonds because they're the biggest part of the stock market, actually. What direction are the bonds going? How your stock market moves. Okay, that's a liquidity in the market. Remember when I talk about liquidity? Liquidity is when a lot of this money supply coming into the market. When money supply coming into the market, that usually lifts the stocks to the upside. If they take the liquidity out of the market, that means there is no cash available. Then the stocks normally go to the downside. Okay, so bonds are very, very important, and we got to talk about them more. So we'll talk about sometime during this week here. We will talk about it during the market hours. So looking at this market right now, put call ratio continue, and same look at this. This is what the U.S. is really complaining about because this they complained about it because this went up to $149 yen. So the Japanese has really weakened the yen to the downside. Okay, so it's 149. What the Americans wants to do is they're telling them to raise their interest rates. If they raise their interest rates this year, this dollar yen will go down this way. That means it will be stronger against the American dollar. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. And it is on the talk over the weekend that Donald Trump and Bessent did. They kind of been pushing this to the downside right now. So let's see. That's just a talk, but the real action has to be done by the Japanese. They must raise their interest rate. They must raise their interest rates. Okay. So that is the Forex market. I see further, on the talk, I see if you're looking for a trade in the Forex market, this is probably the one to do. What about the Canadian dollar? Canadian dollar has been very strong. So far, $1.37. This is still, I think, is coming to $1.34 area. And the biggest factor depends on the yield they'll get, not the yield, the tariff agreement. Do they get some sort of free trade, whatever? Once the trade settles, this one here, I think we are coming down to $1.34. The Canadian dollar will get stronger. The euro is sitting at $1.16, $1.17. Remember when this was going up to, I said $1.20 is the next area. I still think it's $1.20 coming up. It's taken this little bit of rest to the downside, doing all these tariffs that are going back and forth, but I still see this at $1.20. Same thing with the pound. It will eventually go to $1.40, and it has come down here, down this way here. Again, nothing goes straight up, right? Or nothing goes straight down. So those are basically your Forex market, and looking at, let's go to look at some stocks, because that's where we're major important. What direction are the stocks going to go? And before we get to the stocks, just quickly take a look at the calendar on the Forex Factory, what's going on this week. There isn't really much other than the ISM manufacturing data. So let's go to, let's quickly take a look here. This week, let's take a look at the whole week calendar. What's going to happen tomorrow? We basically have nothing. Last night the Chinese loan agreement came out, which was about pretty much the same. The Chinese stocks, let me talk about it again. The Chinese stocks will keep doing well. This is a number they held pretty steady, prime loan, and same thing last week. And you saw the number, the trade surplus that the Chinese had. It's getting better and better, and the Chinese economy is starting to grow again. Stocks like Alibaba, Baidu, JD.com, I think these stocks, and China Telecom, all these stocks are going to start pushing back to the upside for longer term. I think this is a turnaround story. Let me just put this. It's a turnaround story for these stocks, for especially Baba, right? I think this is a turnaround story. So the next breakout I would watch for it on Alibaba is 123.50. It's sitting at 120. This is a movement since last Monday when I told you the surplus. It actually didn't move Monday. It's actually moved Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday actually the market. If you had bought Monday, you could have had Alibaba 108. I'm not in Alibaba right now. Again, could have had it back there. I could have bought it, but again, it's sitting at 120. I see a further upside on Alibaba as well. If you look at, let me just show you the day chart here. And I think it's going to be a further side to the upside. It's taking a little bit of breather. Let's take a look also at Baidu. Here's another one that I'll like. And Baidu hasn't done really much, but this could be an opportunity buying before it starts flying. Okay, so could be an opportunity sitting here for some Chinese stocks. But anyways, back to the calendar here. And Governor Bailey speaking. Chairman Paul is talking tomorrow, Tuesday, around 8:30. He's gonna be. I don't know exactly where he's talking, but again, he'll be talking. Just make sure all the Feds. There's always the Feds talking here and there that will move the market, but keep a close eye on that. This is a German. All this flash MI is coming. This is will tell us what the factories are doing. Anything above 50 is good number. Anything below 50 is not. And we also will get the U.S. numbers as well on 9:45, flash manufacturing index. And right now the U.S. side is sitting above 50 right now. So we'll see what those numbers are like. There is not anything else is coming out that is really going to affect the market. But the next week, the following week is where the Bank of Canada and the Feds make a rate decision. Okay, those are number going to be not this week. The next week is a market mover numbers going to come out. But this week is going to be a slow market unless Donald Trump comes in and makes comments. I don't see anything else really moving the market. It's going to be like a boring week. So don't if the market gets boring, market doesn't move up and down, don't just trade for the hell of it. Okay, that's where people usually lose money, when they start trading without really anything concrete that's happening out there. Okay, so I would not really jump into any stocks unless the market really gives you nice numbers. I would pay attention to maybe trade by the algo a little bit. See what the algo did. I took one trade this morning with the algo, made $150 on it, but not much. Again, profit is profit. So nothing happening on the calendar. Let's talk about some stocks. I like if you want to play this today for some money, Amazon, I like it's top of my list here. It's ready to break above here, 226. If it breaks out to the nicely, this could have a nice breakout to the upside right there, sitting at 227. If it breaks out, it tried last week, it's trying again today. So if it does break out, it could have a nice push, a couple of bucks, $230 range. Could get to that range very quickly. So this is one of the stocks that you can play today. Another one is A-Lab. We did a market update last night, and A-Lab came in again. Damn it, it's already broke out this morning at 4 o'clock. This is what we had the line in last week. I said when it breaks out, it doesn't mean you can't play it still. It still can go higher. So this is the breakout we were looking for, and it did break out this morning. So what time? Yeah, since 4 o'clock it started trading, or 6 o'clock actually it broke out. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, yeah, around 6, 7 o'clock it broke out to the upside. So if you have this stock, continue to hold. Last week we were talking about it. Again, this week it's heading to the it's already pulled up like what, $5. It's still pulling up. It's already up $5 from this morning. So A-Lab is pushing up. What else is take a look at? I like this stock for long term. I a couple of months ago I mentioned this stock here. Watch out for this breakout above here. This is another one that could go right there. I'm looking at 38.50. Okay, this is a nuclear. They do nuclear. What do you call them? Those reactors. Okay, and very rare that a company like that will start up. Any company can start up a business like that. So this is really a future of nuclear energy is bright. They're spending a lot of money. And look at uranium, CCJ, and UEC. We'll take a look at their charts. But again, I'm looking for a break above here and around 38.50. Okay, 38.50. So if it could be also a longer term hold as well, because like the stock. Okay, and I talked about CCJ, Chemical Corporation. Look what it's doing. It's just doing up there. And I found 2 weeks ago cheaper stock, UEC, very similar to this one. It's going up nicely, and this was around around five. What was $5-7, something like that, 5.5, $6.5 when I mentioned this, and it's still going up. And look for this if you're looking to buy. Look for a breakout around the 831. This is also uranium. It's a Canadian company as well. Okay, so this is a CCJ is very expensive. I think it had a huge run up because they are the largest producers of uranium. This is not the largest. This is actually still into a lot of mining stage. But eventually, if it gets up there, it has been a price build before up here. But I think this thing can go. This is the next chemical stock. I know a lot of few people that have already owned this one here. So I would continue to hold, especially if you're looking for a buy this stock. Look for around 832, 835, right there. So that could be a good buy to the upside. So there's a couple of stocks already run away. I don't know if it's worth showing you the charts because they were very similar to the stock that I just showed you. LEU I talked about a long time ago, a couple of months ago. This is just keeps going up. This is where I picked it up from breakout right there. So it just keeps going to the upside. It's roughly up 211, somewhere around $211. It's already up like $43, and it continues to go to the upside. I think this is another nuclear stock that can continue to go up. Okay, so again, another good one, but again, should have hung on. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other stocks here on my list. Is UMAC. This is we talked about it last week or a couple of weeks. This stock here is into robotics. I like this is the reason I like it. Look for this one to break out above here around the $13 range. If it breaks out, it can have a nice next level to the. I think its next level is $20 after that. So watch for. You need to see the breakout first above here. This is what I'm looking for right there. $13, $13.50 you can say on UMAC. Once it breaks above there, I think it's going to be a $20 stock. And this is another, they're into robotics. The reason I like it, they don't have the numbers that are so great, but I like what they're doing. They don't have a lot of debt. The liabilities are not too much there. They have overall, they do have a lot of assets, but again, they're into technology, drones and robotics. So I looked at their balance sheet a little bit. They look pretty good, but it's a very small company, $329 million. Okay, their revenue is not going as fast, but what I like the overall what they're doing. So they can even the earnings are negative, right? But this is we could be picking this stock at the bottom around the $13. So they don't have many shares outstanding, but that's why I like this one here. Once something positive comes out of this, it can pull up very quickly to the upside. So I would wait patiently. I would not get into it till about 13.50. Okay, wait for it to break out. If it doesn't, then just stay away from it. But 13.50 is what I'm looking for. Okay, some of the other stocks, LUNR is another one I'm paying attention to. This is another kind of robotic stock, and you look for this break around 13.50. I would say take a look at this one too. So it's very similar to what UMAC is. Okay, So the reason is a lot of people were asking for robotic stocks, and I think that's the next major thing that's going to go to the upside are the robotics. So look for that stock to continue to the upside once it breaks out. And our general stocks, like let's talk about. Anybody have any particular one they want to talk about in the group? If you do, just put it in the chat, please. The ones I want to talk about is CNR. Somebody mentioned it again this morning. Yes, I think it's still a buy at even current price. CNR, it has come down with all this tariff thing is going on. I think once we settle with the tariffs, I think we're going to have a better. Am I going to buy this stock? Yes, definitely going to buy it. It has come down. When the earnings came out, it went all the way to the upside here. They got earnings coming out here soon again. Again, the earnings may not be as strong this time, right? Because this war about tariffs been going on between the countries, so not many things have been moving. Okay, so the earnings might not be great. So even if you want to buy this stock, I would wait actually for the earnings. They're coming out tomorrow. After we'll see how good they are, but we'll talk about can they beat the numbers. Let's take a look. Might as well take a look at it right now. CNR. Are they going to beat the numbers tomorrow? I still have shares in Canadian National Railway. Let's see where the earnings are. Right there, $1.86. Can they beat the $1.86? I don't know about this one here. Just because there's the war, because if you're looking at the trucking industry, if you're in the trucking, you haven't been hauling a lot of stuff between the borders right now, right? So it's the same thing with the railway companies. They've not been hauling a lot of stuff between the borders. So the problem here becomes is can they beat this earnings? I don't know. I'm really standing on the fence on this one, but I don't play for earnings, so I'm gonna wait. I'll wait for the earnings to come out tomorrow and then decide whether I want to get into the stock or not. So even though I still holding it, so maybe wait till tomorrow after the earnings. It's up to you if you want to take even if the earnings come bad tomorrow. I'm a buyer of the stock. Either way, I'm gonna buy. I'm a buyer of the stock. So I'm hoping the earnings are bad so I can buy cheaper. But those that are holding it probably think hopefully they beat the numbers, the stock will go higher. To me, it won't matter one way or the other. Okay. So, but I hope we are here
ਵੀ
to.
ਓਕੇ
Hanji?
ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਭਾਜੀ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਓਕੇ ਉਹ ਲੈਗਡ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ 3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਨਾ
Yeah. Well.
ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਕਰੇਗੀ
Yeah. Guidance will always affect, but again, the risk ਤੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਸਕ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਾਈਟ
ਯਾ
ਪਰ ਇਹ ਗੁੱਡ ਸਟਾਕ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਟ
ਯਾ
ਕਰਨਾ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਵੀ ਬਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਟਾਕ ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਗਿਆ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਅਰਨਿੰਗਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਬਾਈ ਇਟ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਊ ਹੈਗਾ 180 ਜਾਂ 175 $180 ਦਾ ਵਿਊ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਲਈ ਓਕੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ 5 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਚ ਤਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਅਚੀਵ ਕਰ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਜੇ 200 ਲੈਵਲ ਸਪਾਈ
ਯਾ
ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬੀਟ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਜੀ
yeah I think so I think long term view is good um, quickly I want to mention this rumor again okay I hate saying it but Laurentian Bank I heard a little bit of rumor on Friday that they are going to be a buyer of this bank I don't know when I've been waiting now for 2 years to buy this bank out but there was a rumor a little bit on Friday I heard that this company that's why the rumor I heard in the morning but I wanted to see what would the stock would do and the stock moved nicely to the upside is this because of the rumor are they going to buy this stock out I don't know what's going to happen to be honest with you I'm speculating okay from what I hear from the market then I saw this stock move up it kind of told me yeah this could be it maybe hopefully I don't know who's going to buy them out it's probably one of the big 5 Canadian banks. Okay. It's another bank in Quebec. They've been having a lot of problems, and it's a very undervalued bank according to their book value. The book value is over 58, 59, and it only trades half of their book value. Okay. So this is somebody, if I'm looking at a buyout for this one, I'm looking around $45, 40, $45, somewhere there. So it's currently sitting at 31.29. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm just speculating. Just remember that. Okay, So this is what I saw on Friday this morning. I will be talking about more about stocks again 9:30. I have a list, whole bunch of list here. I've been checking this morning that could be possibly UMAC, IONQ, IREN, another one RUM, and BIS. I got a whole bunch of them that we can check at 9:30. So, anyways, I'll let Harvey do the market update, and I'll see you after 9:30. Thank you this morning. Just remember one more thing, guys. This weekend there have been 3 different IDs of mine that they've been sending people messages to put money in a bank account that I will trade for them. I do not manage your money. I don't ask for your money. Please don't send your money anywhere. Once you do, it's not coming back to you. It's not me. It's these scammers here. And if you look at that ID carefully and compare to my ID, there is either a dot in there or there's a comma in there. There's something different in the bottom in the name here that you will see. So please do not send your money to anywhere. Stay safe. Even if somebody calls you or asking for money, do not send money anywhere. There are too many scams going on, too many people losing their money for no reason. So if you can hear me, and please do not send your money anywhere. Keep safe. Thank you very much. I will see you at 9:30. Thank you.